Whoever is here on Zoom, please make sure you are on mute. Okay. So this is awesome. Thanks so much for hopping on, and let me know what are you overstressed or are you overeating or both? So just drop that in the comments. I'm still not sure where these comments are going to appear. It's interesting doing it in a group, but let's see. Hopefully I can see the comments at some point while I switch between like a few million windows. Let's see. So for today, I thought we could do we could go through the handout together. I think that's really important, as opposed to, just passively listening and getting like a tip or two. Let's actually open up the handouts. I've dropped the link, and I'm not able to post any comments while I'm doing this, so hopefully you can see it in the top. Get that handout, it'll get emailed to you. This is just easier for me, like it's set up so that it just sends it to you right away. Okay, so my name is Homera, and I am a personal trainer. I've got a whole bunch of certifications. I basically help women boost their energy, lose weight, and reduce pain that's from whether it's from like day-to-day stress or diseases or joint pain or different things. So basically my goal is to help as many people as possible. And what I'm seeing now is that we have quite a few challenges that we're trying to overcome as we deal, with the times that we're living in. So, every single week, on a day-to-day basis, I talk to so many women, subhanAllah, and it's not just here in Edmonton, but actually all over the globe, where I get messages from different people. Everyone is really struggling right now, and they also feel alone in their journey. There are things that they want to overcome, and they feel stuck. So one of the biggest things that keeps coming up over and over again is being overstressed, and then that leading to overeating. And I'm a big believer in habit-based coaching. I absolutely, find that if you change your habits, it changes you from within, as opposed to just here's like a diet plan, or like that's it, I'm off carbs for like 3 months, or I'm just going to drink water, or like do a water fast, and then I'm going to starve, or I'm not going to eat this. And being stuck in that mentality, you're actually still a slave to that method, versus when you actually try and change your habits, one simple step at a time. We just break it down into like really small steps. You can actually overcome some of your biggest struggles. Something that I've experienced personally as well. And I want to kind of keep it short. It is late in my time zone, and I want to just give you the method, right? And I want you to understand that this is going to be ridiculously simple. And that's the point, is that we don't complicate things. As women, we love overthinking. We love overcomplicating things. By the time like we sit in a car and we're going outside, like with our husband and kids, for example, the man has only thought of the fact that he's getting in the car, but we, in our minds, we've planned out how long it's going to take, who we're going to see, where at our destination, what is it that we're going to do, who's going to get out first, who's going to help the kids, what are we going to pick up on our way back, what are we going to, where are we, like, what place are we going to pass by, and what list am I going to make in the car, or who am I going to catch up with, or text, or check in, or like refunds and returns, like all of that stuff in the same amount of time, where what the man has done is just like got into the car. Okay, so we are really wired to think like that, and our mind just races and it just doesn't stop. And many times when we have things that are outside our control and we can't get a handle over it, and we feel responsible, like we couldn't change it, then many times, I would say 9 out of 10 times, we turn to food and snacking. Let's just make this sort of a banner statement. We as humans do not need snacks, okay? I'm just gonna share this one quick story, and then I'll get into the actual material. Something that was really, really profound to me when it comes to snacking. So last year, this story is crazy. Like it just made me think so much. So last year, I was in Egypt. I spent the whole year in Egypt, me, my kids, and my husband. We in our first week, we started off at a center to learn Arabic. So we would like go in the mornings, and then spend about 4 hours of studying, and then go back home. And in between, we'd get a break after 2 hours. Just like how I do over here, or I used to, I would pack our lunches and our snacks into these little containers, and I would have like the cheese and the veggies and some sandwiches, and something to drink, and maybe like a sweet thing for all of us or for the kids, right? And that would be part of my daily thing. Just like this is normal. This is normal for us to do. What I found so crazy was when break time would come, the entire center, like there were students from all over, the world, like, and kids too, especially from like Russia and Uzbekistan, like tons of them, and lots of like from other African countries as well. So many like students at that center. I was blown away by this one fact, that we were actually, like, I think the only sort of Westerners, like Canadians, there at that during those 4 hours. I was blown away by the fact that nobody else would take a snack break. No one was eating anything. No one was pulling out their granola bars, or like, something to put their hands into, or chips, or any of that. It was crazy. Hifada, you raise your hand. I'm not sure if you have a question or if you can't hear me, but maybe you can unmute yourself if you need to. Okay, so nobody would, like, it took me like a few days to realize that, oh my gosh, like these people. So then I started asking more, like, when you guys eat? They're like, well, we may eat in the morning, but we just have like a really big dinner at night, and like we usually skip lunch, right? So this was like something that is very common at that time, like over there. And it really like made me start to think about like how we have access to this snack scene, right? Like snacks in every single aisle at the grocery stores, in the middle of the aisles too. And we just, we believe that we need to snack. So the first like banner statement that I really want to put in is, hold on guys, I gotta let somebody into the, I don't know how to do this. I don't see any notifications on my screen, so I'm not sure, maybe if you want to call her. Sorry, but I gotta keep going because there's people listening on Facebook as well. All right, multiple live streaming. Okay, so yeah, so we really have access to, and we kind of believe that, yeah, I need to snack, I need to eat. So the banner statement, for the third time I'm saying this statement, is that we don't need to snack. Your body absolutely does not need it. Okay, so let's talk a bit, like we're talking about from a need point of view. Like, are you hungry? You just ate. You're not going to be hungry. There's no reason, if you have like a nice 400, 500, 600 calorie meal, there's no reason you're going to be hungry in 3 hours. Okay, we're talking about general population. We're not talking about breastfeeding. We're not talking about if you have like insulin or medication. We're just talking about in general, right? Because what's happened is, if you are a stress eater, then what's happened is that your hunger signals are out of whack. So you're eating when you're not hungry, and you may not be eating when you're hungry, right? Because we are so busy, and sometimes in our stress we don't eat, but then when it's all done and over with, then we like get down to our bowl of ice cream or whatever it is, relax, and then we eat. So this is something we need to start telling ourselves, is that I don't need to snack. I don't need to be slave to snacking. Like, it's not benefiting me. Maybe if you're eating celery and broccoli, right? Maybe then you could be like, yeah, okay, I'm trying to get my 4 to 6 servings of veggies a day. But beyond that, we don't need to snack. And this was so hard for me to like work on, right? To like stop the snacking habit. And thankfully my husband, like, he will not snack. I don't know what that man, like, where he learned this, but he just doesn't snack no matter what. Me, I pass by the kitchen 10 times and I'll snack 10 times, right? So I had to move my workspace away from my living room into the basement so that I would be able to break that chain. So what are we going to do today? I'm going to go through something really quickly, let's all get into the mindset of breaking the chain today, okay? I don't want you to think like, oh yeah, I listed something really cool. It was about overstress and overeating, and then like scroll, 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 and that's it, right? I want you to grab your pen. Okay, if you haven't received the handout in the email, it's okay, not the end of the world. You can still write down. I'll coach you through it, no worries. But I want you to commit to breaking the cycle right now, because if you're not going to do it right now, chances are this is going to continue for a long time. Okay, so if you can grab your pen, do it. Okay, do this right now. And it's going to be liberating when you have a solution or you have a paper staring at you in your face that's saying, hey, you don't have to be a victim to overeating anymore. So we're gonna get into it. Quickly, quick sip of water. And I know many of you are still toying with this idea, still trying to figure out, I don't know if I want to write or not. No, you're gonna write, okay? You might be live streaming on your phone or anything, so you can't really type. So I need you to write. Okay, I need you to do this right now for yourself. There's no reason like why we can't overcome our bad habits. Yes, we are stressed, right? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to break the chain between stress and eating. We will be stressed, okay? That's a whole different topic for another day where we talk about how to manage our stress. And of course, we need to eat. How do we break the chain between these two things, okay? So let me start my little speech and let's work through this together, inshallah. Okay, if are you feeling overworked and underappreciated? And maybe you're having trouble staying consistent with your nutrition and fitness because of life's demands, wondering if you'll ever be able to find time to achieve the body and health you want, right? So this is for you. The biggest thing is that we put others' needs before our own, right? For lots of women, most of us, it's an everyday reality. Whether you're a high-powered professional, a mother, a caregiver, a partner, a worker, a daughter, a friend, or all of the above and more, if you're a woman, you're asked to do a lot, right? Most of us, spend our days putting out fires, handing out to-do lists, wiping little noses, meeting deadlines, and making sure other people are fed, safe, and happy. So here's the thing. I've gotten to know like a lot of women through my coaching program is called Triple Your Energy in 90 Days. And I've learned that most of them enjoy and thrive on that impossible list that I just mentioned. We thrive on, we love this. We love being busy and being wanted and, being the person who knows where everybody's lost items are or what, receipts they put 10 days ago. We love it. So we love rising to the challenge of supporting others and getting stuff done until our energy runs out and we realize that we don't have anything left for ourselves, right? So slowly, after months or years of putting other people first, multitasking and wrangling that epic to-do list, we're drained mentally and emotionally. The time that we used to invest in self-care has disappeared. The clothes that used to fit feel a little or maybe a lot tighter. The sugar and junk food cravings, they seem much stronger. The exercise classes or workouts are postponed and then canceled. Procrastination, the bathroom mirror and scales, you're just avoiding them. You're like, I'm not going to look at my face. I'm going to look at the scales. And you're also avoiding the bed with your husband, right? On top of that, the stress of yo-yo dieting, it starts up again because you're like, man, I gotta do something. So with putting so much time into caring for others and juggling all of our responsibilities, we as women end up neglecting ourselves, okay? But it doesn't have to be this way. You can feel healthy, fit, and good in your own skin. You can regain control of your schedule and your body. You can overcome emotional eatings and cravings, and you can show love and appreciation to others while still taking care of yourself. Okay, so I'm going to show you how. So again, the two biggest obstacles in many women's way when it comes to getting healthy and staying in shape, right? And how to overcome these obstacles to get the body and the life you want. So if you signed up for the handout, check your emails if you got it or not. And I'm going to send you some transformation pictures that are completely based on before after pictures that are based on women getting into shape without following a diet, right? But just changing their habits and breaking some of these chains and putting themselves first, okay? So you're like, oh, sure. we see this all the time. Like, maybe some women might find this helpful, but my life is different. My body is different, right? And honestly, this is exactly what everybody tells me. All of the women that I talk to, they're like, oh, it's easy for her to lose weight, or it's easy for her to, like, get into shape. It's easy for her to, like, not eat so much. But here's the thing. I'm that person that's listening to all of these voices, all of these, like, concerns coming to me, and the underlying issue is the same, right? So feeling like frustrated, lost, and confused, and struggling to manage their eating, health, and bodies. They know they want to feel better, and they're trying their hard, but they just weren't sure about how to make it all work. Okay. So I'm gonna send those out to you, and the reason why I send it to you is because I want you to see what amazing things are possible when you just put your habits first. You're like, I'm gonna break my not so good habits, and I'm going to improve my good habits. Okay. So many of these women felt like you do right now, right? But they discovered that the kind of change you want is possible, no matter where you're starting, no matter how you're feeling right now, no matter how much stuff is on your plate. It is possible. So here's what women are often wishing for when they start working with me, and then some ways that you can get started right now. So the first wish is to help me have a better relationship with food. Okay. I'm not going to get into my, like, relationship with food. Such a long topic, and but here's the thing. Like, we don't talk about this. We will quickly, on the drop of a pen, get together over eating any day of the week when it comes to food. Like, we have a very strong relationship with food. On the inside, everybody around us has no clue about our struggles whatsoever. They have no clue what it's doing to us. Okay. Which is why even the Prophet, peace be upon him, there's a hadith of the Prophet, peace be upon him, where he said that, paraphrasing, is that the worst vessel the son of Adam can fill is his stomach. Because there is, like, such an emotional grip that we have, right? So very important for us to understand and be aware and be in tune with what the struggle means with overeating and emotional eating, right? So we love our chocolates, sugar, our snacks, or whatever. Like, we say, oh, I deserve this. I need a freaking break. Whatever these treats are, like whatever you treat yourself with. But these things, guys, they don't love you back. And once the food rush wears off, we're left with the very same stress and problems we started with. Plus, now we feel guilty, ashamed, and maybe even out of control. Like, I can't, literally the first, when my ladies start with me in the first week, all of the messages that come to me are like, oh my gosh, I feel so guilty. I ate this. I'm guilty because I ate this. Oh, I went over my portions, and etc. But it's a work in progress, right? So once the food rush wears off, we're left with this, shame, the stress, we're left with the problems, but now we have this extra guilt. So the cycle looks like this, okay? You feel stressed, anxious, and upset. Then you overeat, and you feel guilty and ashamed for overeating. You feel more stressed, anxious, and upset, right? You vow to do better. You're like, no more. You white knuckle a new diet, or maybe you make new rigid rules, and then again you feel stressed, anxious, upset, overeat, and then you repeat the cycle. Okay, so your first wish is to help me have a better relationship with food. So if you have gone through this cycle even once in your life, can you type in the comment that can you type in the comments that you've experienced something like this? Let me know, so I know I'm talking to the right people here. And hopefully I can see that the comments will appear magically on my screen. So yeah, let me know what your cycle looks like, right? It might be a little bit different in this. So here's the exercise. Here it is. Here's the thing that I've been talking about for a few days. Simply, okay, first, it's called break the chain exercise. Simply notice, observe, and record what happens leading up to any food cravings, emotional eating, overeating, or any other times that feel out of control with food and eating. Because here's a secret. Those feelings and behaviors, they didn't come out of nowhere. They aren't random. Something led to them. Okay, so now you want to solve this problem of you, being overstressed and overeating. If you want to break this chain, you are the detective here. You're gonna figure out all of the links in the chain. You gotta do this for yourself. Okay, so open up the exercises. The handout. Let's see. Sorry, just gonna click. Sounds very accurate. Thanks for that comment. I hope Rabia got in. Sorry. Okay, um, so again, okay, so step one is on the paper, start with any recent food or eating related episode that troubled you. Okay, for instance, eating too much, eating foods you didn't want, feeling out of control. So you're gonna start with that. Okay, so just think back. So for me, well, it was actually just last night. Crazy. I wanted to do a 29-hour fast. This is a side note. I've been fasting consistently two times a week. Every single, like, I haven't missed a single week. If I do have to miss a day, then I'll just make up another week. So I've been consistently fasting. So I wanted to, and now I'm getting into like extended fast again. Like I've done extended fast in the past. Anyways, I wanted to start my fast. So I did. I started my fast at 3 p.m. I had a lovely, amazing lunch at a friend's house, beyond amazing. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be my meal and I'm going to start my fast. And then I fasted today. However, I think 6 hours later, or like, sorry, 3 hours later, my husband made steak and he's like, hey, do you want to bite? And I said, no. Okay. That's not how it went down. But I hope that you have thought about your recent food or eating related, episode that troubled you. Okay. So this troubled me. Anyways, you don't have to listen to me like the whole story. I want you to use this to like write down on your handout. This troubled me because it put the thought of eating in my head, which is the thing I was trying to avoid. Then he stepped out to get the kids. And I'm like, maybe I could eat. It's okay. I'll do my longer fast another day. And then I'm just doing circles in this kitchen as usual. Crazy. Okay, so step number 2 is to write down all the stuff that was happening around you just before that episode happened. For instance, where were you? What were you doing? What were you thinking? What were you feeling? Who was with you? So with me, I literally told you the whole scene. And I had come home a little earlier after lunch with my friend, and I had picked up some groceries. So there were some yummy things that I didn't want to be eating, out of boredom, that now started talking to me like they want me to eat them. Now, the step number 3, I want you to see if you can go back even further, maybe even a few hours before that. Once again, where were you? What were you doing? What were you thinking? What were you feeling? Who was with you? Try to capture as much detail as possible. Okay. So if I'm going too fast, let me know. All the time. My worst thing is when I lose a bit of weight, when I reward myself with chips because I'm ahead. Yeah, that's hard. Our rewards, right? Because we're wired to like. Okay, so if I were to dig deep now, oh my gosh, I'm doing this. I'm actually doing this like on screen, crazy. So if I were to dig deep as to what was my state before that, well, I guess I'm like, well, I ate so much at my friend's place anyway. So what if I have like a few bites of steak and it's protein? It's okay. It's not gonna harm me so much. I have to watch what I eat because of PCOS. Anyways, all these thoughts in my head, my gosh, like I'm telling myself I'm really not hungry. There's no sign of hunger. Then I drink some water, then I want to eat something again, and I'm trying so hard. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go down the basement. So I went to the basement. Okay, number 4. Now look at your data. Are there any patterns? If you don't see any connection right away, no worries. You gotta try this exercise a few times and then start looking for links between what was happening in the days or hours before you had a serious food craving or an emotional eating episode. Okay, a craving is a feeling. And our emotional states change because something made us feel that way. And it's not food, right? Like, it's not food. It's not like solution, unless maybe you're at like some gourmet wedding buffet or something. So recognizing those patterns is extremely important, right? So if you recognize any pattern right now, please put it in the comments. Would love to see what you're coming up with. And so now we have patterns. So, okay, let me just again try and think out loud. It very often has to do with like me buying something, maybe like sweets or whatever, right? Like that seem healthy, but maybe they're not, and saying like, oh, it's really for the kids, but it's actually for me. I'm admitting this, and that's something that I want to break out of very badly, because it's gotten to a point where I can't, like, I want that food shouldn't be the thing that just pops up in my mind. In fact, I want to be able to direct my worries, my stress towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Imagine if every single time we felt this urgency to eat, that we turn to Allah first, because Allah can actually take care of us, not the food. Food's only going to make it worse, and food's going to keep us in the cycle. So imagine like every single time you had this like strong urge and like this strong, desire to eat, when you know you're not hungry, you're not dying, and you know you don't need it, and you know that you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to reduce inflammation, you know that this is the food that actually makes things worse for you. Right at that point, you turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You've earned some ranks there with Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if you come to me walking, I will come to you running. Take your worries on a plate, take them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything that bugs you and bothers you, until you stop to do this, nothing's going to change. You got to stop right now. And you're going to tell yourself, you know what? I'm going to turn to Allah, because He is the one who actually takes care of me. It's because of Him. It's because of Ar-Rahman that I even have this food that I eat and these snacks that I love. It's only because of Allah. And every time that I got stressed, I turned to food and not to Him. Whoa. It's like mind blown. How something as simple as our stress can actually, bring us closer to Allah. I think it's amazing. So look at your data, right? Try this exercise a few times, and then start looking for links between what was happening before, and then start writing those down, okay? Number 5 is, if and when you find patterns, be curious about them. Don't try and fix them right away, okay? That's not what this is about, because when you try and fix them, it means like you're not ready for the change. You don't have enough data. You need to wait, okay? Notice them and name them. That's interesting. Every time my mom calls me afterwards, I want to hit the chocolates. I feel fine most of the month, but the week before my period hits, watch out. Or it's been a long, stressful week at work. Give me that, I don't know, bottle of pop before I stab someone. Okay? So now you have some more valid data on yourself. The reason why this is so important for you to do for yourself is because no therapist in the world, like, no doctor is going to spend this much time with you to figure out how to break your stressful eating. Sorry, I don't mean to say no therapist in the world. I just mean like someone who typically doesn't like spend that much time, right? There are like lots of therapists that do help you with emotional eating. But before you even get to that point, you want to start working on yourself, right? So they're going to do the same thing. This is really it. They're going to help you think through the process of how did you get from here to there. The only difference is that there's somebody sitting next to you telling you what was happening and explaining it to you, but you are smarter than that. You know what happens in your mind, and if you figure it out once, you're not going to need an expert over and over again, right? Okay, so you might notice a solution right away. That's number 6, is that you might notice a solution right away. So what are you going to do? Okay, I'm going to go work out after I talk to mom to get some of that energy out. Now, what you've done is talk to mom, oh, sorry, before it was talk to mom and chocolate. And now it's talk to mom, work out, reward is chocolate. Okay. Maybe that chocolate eventually will change to something else. But right now, you have inserted something to break that chain. You can't break that chain until you notice why that was happening. Whoops, my battery is low. Okay. So another example, I'm going to mark my PMS days on the calendar so I know about them in advance and you can do something about them. Third example was, stressful week at work. I'm going to walk home on Fridays to unwind, right? So before I even meet the first person in my family, I'm going to actually unwind, unload all of that stress before I even see them. Find out a way. Maybe you may not notice solutions. You might feel stuck at step number 5, noticing the patterns, but not sure how to change. Either way, that's okay. The important thing is now you're aware of what's happening. Okay, so keep practicing this in the worksheets. These are the steps in the worksheets. Now, our second wish is, so the first wish, do you guys remember what the first wish was? I want, help me have a better relationship with food. And the second wish now is, help me be more consistent with my diet, exercise, or healthy lifestyle habits. Okay, so if you're like most women, you probably tried at least some stuff to get and stay in shape, right? That's awesome, Amina. I usually do this when I'm upset and alone after everyone is asleep, never hungry. So now we want to do this like after we're hungry as well. Okay, so wish number 2 is help me be consistent with my diet, exercise, or healthy lifestyle habits. So again, most women have tried things, before getting results with me. Weight Watchers, My Fitness Pal, and Calorie Counters, Jenny Craig and Curves, Versatile Vicky's, like, I don't know, cucumber diet or like oatmeal diet or something like that. Some workouts at the gym, popular diets again, like paleo, juice fats, cleanses, weight loss pills, low carb, workout books, and downloading stuff or like something off YouTube, magazine articles, right? So again, none of these are bad options. It's just that they end up working for some people, but most women tell me that they have a hard time staying consistent. They mean well and work hard, but they struggle to stay on track because the reason why they were struggling isn't addressed in any of these systems, any of these like weight loss programs. Weight loss programs only address the weight loss. Here's the food, here's the exercise, you go girl, right? So we struggle to stay on track because of, we're missing that habit coaching, right? So in part, this is because other plans like these, Weight Watchers and all, like they don't account for your life, right? They don't offer meaningful step-by-step change that you can actually do in your real life. The real life with a job and kids and a commute and going to school and all that stuff. The one that actually human people have, and in part, most of their plans, don't offer support, care, and accountability like coaching does, which is what I do. So the first solution to this wish is to make yourself accountable to a program that really works, okay? Ideally, you want a program that focuses on all the things that are right with you and all the strengths and skills that you already have. So it's starting off like where your foundations are. It gives you proven solutions that start to work right now. It has been tested with lots of people, so you know it actually works. You can customize to your lifestyle so you can stay consistent and do it even when you're busy. You actually enjoy doing, and it's not just another chore. Where it's, so many people just drag themselves because they hate working out. Like literally, I think I would say about 40% of the messages I get, like, hey, I want to lose weight, but I'm too lazy, or I hate working out, okay? A program that makes you feel positive, hopeful, and supported all the way through lasts like for life, okay? And here's the key: it supports your deepest reasons for wanting to change. Okay, so how do you know if a certain program will help keep you accountable, right? So here, like, this is something that I do is accountability. Like, I help women stay on track with their goals, and let me give you like what you need, right? So having a plan that provides both these things, like the accountability as well as the program, the structure and the flexibility, the ability to customize a plan based on your skill levels, goals, and how much time you have available. And I specifically work with busy people because I enjoy it. I'm busy myself. So like all the hacks that I've managed to learn, you know, in the course of my fitness career, getting a daily reminder to practice whichever nutrition, exercise, or lifestyle habit you're currently working on. Like so many times I tell my ladies, hey, you can turn off notifications. Like, no, we want the notifications because we need these reminders, right? And something that measures your progress at regular intervals. It's absolutely important for you to take that before picture, for you to take your before measurements, for you to have your journal that journals your journey so that you know where you started and you know you're progressing. Because sometimes we're like, I'm not losing weight, but like, look at all these other things. You have less pain, you're sleeping better, you're able to handle your stress. And then sometimes you can't get a handle of this, but then your weight loss goes down. So if you don't have a way to measure your progress, you're just going to beat yourself up and say, hey, nothing ever works for me. I'm just stuck in this loop, right? So solution number two, like, you know, if you're not able to get a program, like if you know, something like isn't for you, is to make yourself accountable to a person who really cares, right? So when I started off in the beginning, I was talking about how we don't talk about a relationship with food. But when you start talking about this, you'll find that everybody around you is struggling with the same thing, right? There isn't a single gathering where I've been to where everyone's like, oh man, I shouldn't be eating this, but like everyone's eating it. Why? Because we haven't talked about like our deepest like what, like, you know, fears and reasons and like our deepest issues. Obviously, like they're not close to us, right? They're maybe like friends, like, or whoever. Like it's not something that comes up. We talk about a million other things, but this is showing our weaknesses. This is something that we typically do. So you know, something I like to say is that nothing worth doing can be done alone. Okay, everything, social support, whether it's a friend, a workout partner, your spouse, your kid, your pet, a coworker who walks with you at lunch, a personal trainer, you know, whatever it is, it's crucial. Don't try to do this all alone. Independence is great, but for a project like this, you need a team and a tribe of like-minded people helping and supporting you. Okay, social support plus accountability and lots of caring coaching is my specialty. So, you know, if you want, like, if you feel like, man, I'm really stuck, I need help, honestly, send me a message. I'll see how I can help you. If it's not a good great fit for you, then find that one or more people who can support you, guide you, help you, and maybe give you the occasional loving boot in the butt when you need it, right? I know there's tons of Facebook groups that do that as well. The important thing that you need to make yourself accountable to somebody and get the help you need. Okay, so you already have a lot on your plate. Whoops. Oh, where did it go? Okay, so I was saying you already have a lot on your plate, right? And why not let someone else show you, like, be there for you? So for example, I'll give you like an accountability tip that works really well. When I don't show up to my workouts, somebody is getting like $50 every single time. Okay, so the same thing you guys can do is like when you tell your oldest child, okay, or sibling or whoever, or maybe a charity that you hate, you wouldn't support, I'm gonna give you $50 if I miss, you know, this, right? Then you have made a promise, you've made yourself accountable, you've done something, you've put yourself out there, now you got to do it. We really have to be like that, you know, vicious with ourselves, because we care about ourselves. Why do you want to keep living this way? I know it's lovely to eat snacks, I know it's just, you know, the feelings that we get out of it, but like that's the habit that we're trying to like break. So you gotta come down on it hard. It's like 3-day potty training. Everything's gone, you know, diapers are gone, like it's just 3 days and you're just doing it, right? There's no looking back. You burn all your bridges. So if you want help becoming the fittest, strongest, healthiest version of you, right? Like, here's the thing, most of you already know that regular movement, eating well, sleep, and stress management are important for looking and feeling better. But most people need help applying the knowledge in the context of their busy and sometimes stressful lives. Okay. So it's very, you know, like it's one of the reasons why like I work closely with the women to help them like, get stronger, improve their health, lose fat, and boost their energy no matter what challenges they're dealing with. Like really break it down into small, simple steps. So if you're finding this super challenging where you're like, I really need to get a handle over my like eating because of stress, then I really want you to take that next step that you're going to do and break it down into like this, let's say tomorrow you have like a big thing planned with friends and you're trying to get out of it, right? Break it down. What are the 5 different things you could do? One is you could postpone it, you could call, because if you show up there and you know that you have an issue with overeating, like emotional eating, whatever it is, it's not going to help you, right? And change the language in your head. So the first thing is to like break it down to simple steps. And the second thing is to change the language in your head. So tell yourself, I am an exerciser. I am a healthy eater, right? Don't say I'm trying to eat healthy. I'm trying to exercise. Call yourself what you want to be so that you start to believe it. A lot of the times we don't believe it. And that's why we don't get to it. So change the language in your head and break it down into simple, simple steps. Okay, that's all I really have for you. Message me anytime. And if you have any questions or comments, this was it. So I really hope you find that helpful. Do have some stuff coming up, which I would probably like talk about later. But if there's any other topics, I deal with a variety of different things related to busy women. I'm happy to like hop on live and do stuff after the kids are in bed. All right, assalamu alaikum. Take care, everybody. Wayakum. Oh, thanks for the big hug. Okay, was Maria able to, was it Maria? Or Rabia, sorry. Was Rabia able to get in?
No, she couldn't, but I think she has Zoom issues, but I gave her your Facebook page, so she'll try to sign in next time. Okay. I have my call coming up with you on Saturday, so let's see how that goes. But anyway, inshallah. I booked a call with you.
Okay. You're the one who booked. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, assalamu alaikum.
Like I said, take care.